Let's assume you've gone to Umbrel.com and bought a $449 Umbrel device, and then you've gone to altairtech.io and bought a $299 Bitcoin miner. You've gone in here and you've downloaded the Bitcoin node software. It's going to take you about 24 hours to synchronize the entire Bitcoin blockchain. And there's another cool app here you do not need for mining, which is the Memepool. The reason you don't need the Memepool app is because the Bitcoin node has its own Memepool built in. So in this case, the Memepool app is, I've got it set up to Bitcoin knots, and it requires Electrum as well, and I've got it set to electors. But anyway, it shows you your own mempool. So for example, this is my mempool. You'll see my mempool is mostly empty because this one is set to Bitcoin knots, so it filters out. You'll see there's basically no data transactions in here, ordinals or anything like that. There's no coin joins, mostly consolidation and all. Now, you'll see the mempool here is pretty empty. Now, if I go over to Umbrel and I switch this in settings from Bitcoin knots to Bitcoin node and I save it, it is going to restart. And then when it restarts, I'm going to launch it, and you'll see it will show a different mempool. This is the mempool of the Bitcoin node. Again, it's also relatively empty at the moment, but you'll see it does have a fair number of data transactions in it because now it's pointed to the Bitcoin node. And coin joins, there's none. Same consolidation, same everything else. Oh, there we go. Just mined a block. Well, we didn't mine a block, but somebody mined a block. Anyway, if you look at here, I'll put the public mempool in here. So this is my own mempool. If I go to mempool.space, it will be similar, but not exactly, because that's their mempool. This is my mempool. They are slightly different based on which transactions they're aware of. So that is my mempool on umbrel.local. This is the public mempool, which again is going to be similar, but not exactly the same. And if I switch it back to Bitcoin knots and I say changes, then it will be very different because it's a mempool that does not have ordinals and inscriptions. So here is my local mempool. When it's pointed to Bitcoin knots, the mempool is almost completely clear. The public mempool that does not have ordinals and inscriptions turned off is right here. Obviously, it's got a lot more ordinals and inscriptions, so there's just a lot more there. But anyway, this is my mempool on Bitcoin knots is almost completely empty because there's no ordinals and inscriptions and other data. The mempool that is pointing to the Bitcoin node has a lot more stuff in it. Also, my mempool, even when I have this thing pointed to Bitcoin node, I'll show you is quite a bit emptier than the whole mempool because it's restarting from scratch and my thing rebooted recently. There's probably a lot of legacy transactions in there that the mempool.space is not purging. In fact, normally it'll tell me here. Let me see what it's purging. It is purging anything under minimum fee 1 sat per VByte. And I'm going to go show here on my mempool when it's pointed to my Bitcoin node. Again, there's a lot more there, but it's still a lot cleaner just because I just rebooted this thing. So it's got all the high value transactions because it downloaded all of those. But as far as like a bunch of history on mempool.space, it's got all these transactions, which are mostly consolidation transactions. Yeah, it's just walls and walls of consolidation transactions that are not in my personal mempool yet.